Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's video. So day 10 will take around the 4th of March. We'll be able to extend out. Beyond that, we extended GFS and ECM ensembles. And I'm going to CFSV2 at the end of video next 4 weeks. That'll take us into the second half of March, of course. So I should go on with that for you in a second. Just to say that we did a live stream last night. So we showed you some summer data in last night's live stream. Looked at some long-range models for summer 2021. If you would like to have a look at what those models are showing, then watch your live stream back. And it's a pretty entertaining watch, so have a look at that when you're done with this one. We're on the grind to 11k subscribers, so if you aren't yet subbed to our channel, please can you sub and make sure you click the bell notification icon as well. Absolutely fantastic. You can do that to be notified by YouTube when we release content and live stream. If you subscribe, you guys see future weather content. Don't forget to tell your friends and everybody else to subscribe as well. And thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, so let's begin with centering temperature then. So CT is continuing its inexorable rise. So the CT is currently standing at 4.4. That's provisional to the 21st of February. Yesterday. That's around 1 degree above average. Now it's going to carry on rising. I think we're pitching around a 5.5 finish. So it's going to be, you know, a mild month actually, which is a bit of a shock after how cold it was earlier on in the month. But yeah, it's going to be mild now for CT anyway. GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles look like this. Look at Canterbury today. So the red lines are 30-year upper air temperature average for Canterbury. We're starting off milder than average at the moment, significantly so. There will be a little bit of a drop in the temperature as we go through towards the weekend, but underneath high pressure it will still be pleasantly mild by day, even if the night's a little bit cooler. Next week the upper air temperatures are taking off again. That's under high pressure again, so a lot of mild weather to come, you know, over the next week or so into the early part of next week. Second half of next week and into the second week of March may see a little bit of a drop in the temperature. So we have got some cold, I want to call them outliers because there's quite a few of them now that are going colder at the end of the first week and into the second week of February. We have had this for quite a while though within the GFS ensembles, this drop into colder weather. You know, late on, and it hasn't really verified, it hasn't really come to a great deal, but we may get some colder weather as we go into the second week of March. It is enough to begin to reduce the ensemble mean, which is the white line just here. The ensemble mean is starting to reduce into the second week of March, so we might get some colder weather still to come, but certainly the next week to 10 days is going to be considerably mild on average, and this is extending range stuff, so it cannot be relied upon. There's also going to be a lot of dry weather for Canterbury, and this will be pretty reflective of many southern eastern parts of the country. Loads of dry weather over the next week to 10 days, possibly a little bit more unsettled as we go into the second week of March. Might be a little bit more unsettled there, but generally it's a dry scene and very mild for the next week, 10 days. Temperature anomalies from the 22nd of February to the 2nd of March are going to be above average, not just for the UK and Ireland, but through most parts of Europe as well. The precipitation anomaly from the 22nd of February to the 2nd of March is going to be largely drier than average in most areas, especially for more southern and southeastern parts of the country. The northwest will be a little bit more unsettled. This is our latest wind flow map looks from earth-nullschool.net, and deep low pressure out to our west, drawing up mild southerly to southwesterly winds. So the mild spell goes on, the mild spell continues for the time being. Look how far south those southerlies are coming from, all the way from like the Azores and that sort of area, wafting northwards. So yeah, very mild spell of weather, Canary Islands and Azores sort of based air. Right, this is how the UK Met is looking for Thursday, with low pressure up to our north, high pressure is down to southwest, winds are in from a westerly direction. Into weekend, we're going to find high pressure building up from the southwest. So a lot of dry weather as we go through the weekend. This gets us Sunday, 28th of February. We're under an area of high pressure then, with a lot of dry and fine conditions. Temperatures by day will be, will be very mild. By night, could be a little bit colder on that ridge of high pressure. There might be some frost around by night, but by day, there will be a pleasant sunshine, hopefully. So how the GFS midnight run was looking. So again, westerlies on Thursday into Friday and the weekend. High pressure ridges up from the southwest. Turns us mostly dry and fine. That high pressure is still around as we go through into the early part of next week, drifting a little bit further eastwards, allowing the Atlantic to come back in. But essentially, there's a lot of high pressure on offer up to day 10. With the GFS midnight run, let's go a little bit further out than that, shall we, and see what happens then. So eventually that high pressure with the midnight GFS run tries to drift up towards Scandinavia. We tried to get wind back into east. That high does get Scandinavia, and we do get wind in from east. It's not a particularly cold easterly at this point, but certainly going cooler there as we go into the end of the first week of March. We do get wind into the east. We've got a Scandinavian high back. But it's not a particularly cold east. Although by this point, this is the 8th of March, by this point I think we are beginning to bring some colder air in from the east. But now the Atlantic is beginning to have a go, moving in from the west as well. Let's see what happens right at the very end of midnight GFS run. So this low pressure moves in and starts to slip southwards along with the jet stream. So it begins to turn cooler, possibly colder, with that area of low pressure moving south into the UK, that trough moving across the Atlantic. So yeah, it's gonna be fine for like much of the first week of March. Much of this week gonna be turning dry into weekend. Next week gonna be a lot of dry weather around as well. By the time we get through the second week of March, we may start to turn more unsettled and possibly a little bit colder. This is how the GFS 6Z is looking. So westerlies again on Thursday, and then the high pressure ridges up from the south as we go through into weekend, bringing loads of dry weather. And about high pressure, of course, there could be some cold nights, but there will be some fine days as well. Into next week, high pressure sticks around as we move up towards day 10. Just see a little bit of a weakening of that high pressure. Low pressure starts drifting across the Atlantic. There's a bit of Scandinavian high around as well. Hence more extended range. Again, a lot of high pressures on offer. This time, no Scandinavian high and easterly, and we finish up, begin to introduce more unsettled conditions from off the Atlantic. GM looks like that. So again, westerlies on Thursday, then the high pressure building up from the south as we go into the weekend, bringing lots of dry and fine weather. Moving into next week, again, the emphasis is on high pressure. High pressure begins to relocate up towards Iceland and Greenland, though. This could be starting to bring something a little bit colder in from the northeast by day 10, which is the 4th of March. So by the end of next week, we might be starting to see something a little bit cooler emerging. But let's not go too far with the idea it's going to get cold. There's no sign of anything sort of really cold or snowy in the foreseeable future. But we may start to see the temperature becoming cooler as the high pressure sort of builds to our north later next week. And then the ECM looks like that. Again, high pressure building up from the south, bringing a lot of dry weather with it through the weekend and into next week as well. And up to day 10, again, the high pressure just dominates the weather, bringing loads of dry and fine conditions, really, with the ECM. But he's trying to drift northwards, or push northwards, but it's not getting as far north as, like, the GM takes it. And the midnight GFS is not getting as far north as that either. This will be precipitation type forecast based on that ECM run. So a lot of dry weather to come from the south and east, rain mostly in the north and west this week. And then we all turn drier into the weekend and on into the early part of next week, where we are dominated by high pressure. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10, which gets us to the 4th of March. I have 13 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure to our north and winds coming in from an easterly direction. Going to be mostly dry. Could be a little bit chilly with that 13, or another 13 with high pressure, more or less right over top of the country. Again, bringing a lot of dry weather. 11 with high pressure to our north, and round come those easterly winds to day 10, or an easterly drift anyway, even if it's not quite easterly wind, it's sort of a drift from the east. 7 with high pressure to the north, and again winds are in from the east, and another 7 with high pressure to our south, and up come those west to southwest winds. Again, a lot of dry weather in with that, but that one's a milder solution. Most of those options seem to involve high pressure, just differing ever so slightly in the position of the ridge. So I think you say into the first week of March, you're looking at a lot of dry weather. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This will get us to the 9th of March. I have 16 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure out to our west, and we'll be bringing in like a west to northwesterly flow. Going to be mainly dry, should be quite mild with that. 16 with high pressure just to our east, winds will be drifting in from an easterly direction. 14 with high pressure just to our east, and again sort of bringing up a west-southwesterly. And then 5 just here with a mid-Atlantic ridge going towards southern Greenland, trough low pressure over the top of the country. That's going to be the most unsettled and probably coolest option as well, with winds tending to be rather northerly with that. So that's the coldest and most unsettled option. Might even be a bit of wintry potential in with that, but of course that's an outlier solution. Most of the ensemble members, these 3 up here, so vast majority, seem to find favour high pressure and just differ slightly in the position of the ridge. Lastly, CFS V2, these are 500 millibar heights bring down to week periods. The first week period takes from 22nd of February to 28th. The coming week will have high pressure over and just slightly to our east. Low pressure will be out to west. Winds will be coming up from a southerly southwest direction. Should be a lot of dry and mild weather in the week ahead. Week 2 will take us from the 1st to the 7th of March with high pressure then right in over top of the country, bringing a lot of dry and fine conditions. And yeah, a dry start to March, high and dry for the first week of March. High pressure begins to pull out to our west-northwest. Week 3, this is the 8th to the 14th of March. High pressure then is just drifting away to our west. Low pressure is up to our north. Winds are going sort of northwesterly. So that could be going a little bit cooler, but it's still mostly anticyclonic and fine. Big change for week 4. So the 15th to 21st of March, the high is pulled out into the middle of the Atlantic. Still a bit of a high pressure up towards Scandinavia. Trough of low pressure looks like it's digging through the western side of Europe along the jet stream. So we could be going on to the cold side of the jet there, and possibly, certainly becoming more unsettled, possibly becoming rather colder as well. Certainly cooler, could be colder through the 3rd week of March. But the first half of March, the emphasis really is on anticyclonic weather. Right, so if you enjoyed this video, please can you click like, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You better see future weather content. If you do that, don't forget to your friends, family, everybody else to subscribe as well. Everybody who subscribes to his friend will get to 11k subscribers that much quicker. And drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, nice short video today. Tomorrow we're going to have the ECMWF 30-day look ahead. I'm going to have a 10 to 14 day for you tomorrow as well. So come back for that then. For this one, though, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.